Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Chartered Accountants Hall. As you can see from the screen, my name's Michael Itzer. I'm the Chief Executive here at the Icaew. Chartered Accountants Hall is the headquarters of the Institute of Chartered Accountants in England and Wales. For those of you who aren't familiar with us, we're a professional body. We were formed in 1880. We are the first national accountancy body in the world, and we were also the birthplace of the modern accountancy profession. If you look at the bottom of the staircase on your way out, you'll see the bulletin board of our early presidents. You'll see names there like Deloitte, Waterhouse, Cooper, Peat, Binder. The accountancy profession can trace its roots back here. We've come a long way, though, since 1880. Today, we have more than 146,000 members in about 160 countries. We are, though, much more than an accountancy body. Our members are business leaders. They are business leaders in organisations of all sizes, in the private, the public, and the not-for-profit sector. And it's these positions that our members have found ourselves in that gives us a real interest in leadership. And it's in this context that we first worked with the World Forum for Ethics in Business at an event at the United Nations in 2013. That leads me in to our first introduction. And I'd like to introduce to you Christoph Glaser, who is the Managing Director of the World Forum for Ethics in Business and the CEO of Telex Europe, and Gaurav Gower, who leads Telex in the UK. And they're going to introduce Sri Sri. Christoph.
Thank you so much, Michael. It's a real privilege to be here partnering with you, and it has been great last year as well to host the conference here on ethics in business. Ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, dear friends, the topic today is leadership, mind or matter, and we thought therefore it might be interesting for you to know that Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, some 15 years ago, had designed a leadership program called Telex, Transformational Leadership for Excellence. That's a program which aspires to help teams and individuals to mobilize themselves to have success, not just through motivational tools, but through inspiration. And that is so much needed in today's world. Some of the organization Telex works with, you will see noted here, it's the private sector, public sector, and we also run programs in business schools such as the Harvard Business School. Now, some research says today that 9 out of 10 strategic implementations actually fail. Why is that so? In Telex, we have understood that this is the case because many times what is actually an adaptive challenge is looked at as a technical challenge. Of course, organizations do have strategies to be successful, but organizations are people, and people have their habits, have their attitudes, their traditions, their feelings, fears, values, beliefs. There's a corporate culture, and with Peter Drucker, it was said that the culture can easily eat the best strategy just for the next breakfast. When does that happen? Well, it happens eventually when the individuals do not own a strategy, they feel disconnected, they feel they won't even benefit from what's going to change, or they feel stressed, they feel an overload, and they lack the skills to execute this strategy. Ultimately, we will have teams which are dysfunctional, which are non-adaptive, and the best strategy might fail. And therefore, what Telex has done, it has put the mindset, the aspect of self-management, mind management at the core of every leadership intervention. And there are different types of interventions, which you will see here. Interventions which focus mainly on the well-being. There are interventions called Synergize, which focus on the change management process of an organization, of a team. There's executive coaching, team building. There's even support for sports teams to increase their performance. We are working, for example, with the Swiss national tennis team. And we work on what is called leadership agility. And Gaurav Gore, who is here with me, is leading the operations here in the UK. And the team has done great work working with organizations such as Shell, GE, or Bayersdorf. And Gaurav, great to have you here. Please introduce us, Sri, a little more.
Yes, thanks. Thanks, Christoph. Thanks, Michael. Pleasure being here once again. So, of course, Sri is a leading authority in the space of self-leadership, mind management, but he's actually an accomplished leader himself. And through his leadership, he's founded the Art of Living Foundation and the International Association for Human Values. The Art of Living Foundation operates in over 156 countries. Over 300 million people have benefited from the programs of the Art of Living Foundation. Just recently, in March this year, Art of Living completed 35 years of its service to humanity. And in celebration, in the spirit of bringing the world together, Sri led a World Culture Festival which brought together 3.75 million people in person over a period of 3 days in Delhi earlier this year. So we thought we would share a short video with you that will give you a little bit more insight into the work that Sri has done in this globally with people. So please, if you could, yeah.
Spiritual leader Sri Ravi Shankar is touring Europe meeting political leaders and promoting.
Worldwide, the spiritual leader says, just follow the ways of Mahatma Gandhi. Take on hatred and killing through meditation, love, and understanding.
Art of Living, a course designed to teach people how to breathe.
More people are searching harder for inner peace these days. Would you agree?
Sri Ravi Shankar is a world-renowned spiritual and humanitarian peace ambassador. He unites people of different faiths and traditions through emphasizing shared values. To realize the vision of creating a stress-free and violence-free society by reawakening human values, Sri has established the Art of Living Foundation in 1981 and its sister organization, the International Association for Human Values, in 1997. Since 2006, the European Parliament in Brussels has been the venue for the World Forum for Ethics and Business. Business and ethics are often seen as two separate worlds. It is believed that those who are focusing on ethics and social responsibilities may not be competitive. The WFEB is an annual event which brings together leaders from business, politics, academia, civil society, and faith-based organizations for a dialogue on new leadership style that supports inclusive and sustainable development and ensures profitability for businesses. Visiting over 40 countries a year for peace mediation and advocating intercultural dialogue, Sri is particularly adept at bringing opposing parties to the negotiating table in areas of conflict such as Iraq, Kosovo, Sri Lanka, the Ivory Coast, and the Indian states of Kashmir and Bihar. As an ambassador of peace, he plays a key role in conflict resolution and spreads his vision of non-violence at public forums and gatherings worldwide.
Tens of thousands of volunteers in 151 countries around the world have worked tirelessly to give 30 million people the tools they need to succeed.
It represents the fruitful melding of East and West, the harmony and humanity of our universal human values, and the inevitable victory of peace. In fact, the European Union, the World Culture Festival, and the Art of Living share the same values.
The foundation now has volunteers in more than 140 countries. More than 20 million people have taken its programs. It has an incredible, actually incredible following that cuts through all religions, cultures, and backgrounds.
For his contribution and service to humanity, Sri has been bestowed with innumerable honors and awards all over the world.
Great. So we thought we will structure this session in two parts. Sri Sri Ravi Shankar would be addressing us, but we would also invite at a later stage questions from all of you, which he will be answering to us. So let's welcome Sri Sri Ravi Shankar with a big round of applause.
Well, I'm a little shy. I'm a shy person, I think. And to sit and watch this video about me, it's a little tough. That's the only tough thing I have. Okay. Having said that, what's that we want to know? Do you notice in this moment, am I audible? This is now? This is exactly we need to do. We need to make this voice of peace audible. If there is no peace, there is no prosperity. And there is no prosperity, and I don't think you have any job to do. Right? Accountancy has no job when there is no prosperity. And basis of prosperity is peace. Actually, this is a catch-22 situation. If there is peace, there is prosperity. And if there is prosperity, there is peace. Sort of chicken and egg situation. But this is something that we need to deal in the world. Peace is such an ingredient to everyone's life without which no creativity is possible. Intuition is not possible. And you don't have energy either. So now, how do we find the inner peace? Here the journey begins. Do we take a little time to ourselves? And reflect. See, as I'm speaking, I'm not speaking alone. We're all speaking together. Each one of us is having a dialogue with herself or himself. Are we aware of the dialogue that's going on within us? Here begins the journey. Now, as I'm saying something, you are saying yes, yes, or no. Am I right? Am I right? You have to say yes. So, you are also talking, that aspect of our consciousness, our mind, which agrees or disagrees, is our intellect. And it's very, very important that we put some light, throw some light on our own intellect. No? Yes? But how? No? Yes? But how? These are the questions that come up within us. Reflection, self-reflection removes a lot of confusion from our mind, removes a lot of cobwebs from our mind. Whether one agrees or not is a different question, but do we know we are agreeing or disagreeing? Are we conscious of our agreement or our disagreement? Is something that's vital for the development of our intellect. The four functions of our consciousness, one is the intellect, sharpness of the intellect, and clarity in perception. Are we all here? 100%? Most of the time, our memories haunt us. As we are listening to a talk, there is 101 thing that we are concerned about plays in the background. So, the psychologists today say, if you hear someone speaking for 10 minutes or more than 10 minutes, in the 10 minutes of time, you would have taken 3 cappuccino breaks. You've gone out for a tea or a coffee break 3 times. So the presence of mind is directly proportional to the impressions in the mind. Less impressions, more presence. Inversely, I'm sorry, I have to say, is inversely proportional to the impressions in the mind. More impressions in the mind, less presence of mind. Less impressions in the mind, more presence of mind. Now, in this stimulant world where we have been bombarded with so many stimulation, is it possible to have such presence of mind? I would say yes, we can. Because our human brain, human mind is so capable of handling both. Are we here? Are we here? We have to come back, see? We take little trips here and there, now and then. Coming back to the moment brings that alertness. So usually, in 3 situations, our presence of mind is very sharp, very certain. One is when there is fear. Sometimes fear becomes a big motivating factor. When there is fear, mind is not going here and there. You are 100% there. Second is when there is a wow, when there is a wonderment, then mind is not going anywhere. You are right there. Third, when you find there is a big opportunity, big business opportunity, I tell you, you are right there. You are right there. Greed also can put our mind in the present moment. Then, commitment or love that you have for whatever job, whatever mission you have taken, there is love and there is commitment that can keep us right on the spot. And the fourth, if you are doing yoga and exercises, breathing, meditation, there is no way you can miss it. So presence of mind brings clarity in our perception and makes our expression satisfactory. Often we want to express about ourselves or express something, then we find it's not what we really want to convey. A lot of people find it so difficult to convey what they really feel. And usually people end up saying, nobody understands me. I'm misunderstood. Haven't you heard this phrase, a sentence so very often? Yes? 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 It's why the lack in our expression. It's like our expression. So attending to that which is the central point of our existence, the core of our existence, around which everything is our profession, our personal life, everything is revolving around, can make us, can bring us these abilities which we normally think we may not be having it, or we may aspire to have. That we can do multiple things at the same time, feel centered and be happy, and not allow anyone to steal our smile. Yes. So I've come up with a number of small techniques, some ancient, some new, modern techniques. And that has helped people, seem to have helped people. Are you all still here? So if you have some question, then I will take that. What do you say? Or you want some particular topic that I want to say something? How to manage stress. First, do we know what stress is? Of course, we all know, right? I may not know so that well. But stress is too much to do, too little time and no energy. Correct? We have so much to do and we don't have enough energy and too little time. Then we get stressed. Either reduce your workload, which doesn't seem to be a possibility these days, or increase your time, that is also impossible. The only option you are left with is increase our energy level. And here, proper food will help you to shift your energy level. Proper food means the right amount of food, not too much, not too little, balanced, enough carbs and protein, all that. That I don't need to tell you, because you all know, otherwise you go into Google and you get so many advices about right amount of food, or you can talk to a nutrition. Second is proper sleep, 6 to 8 hours of sleep, not more, not less. Third source of energy is breathing. Some deep breaths now and then. Learning some deep breathing exercises. Fourth, few moments of meditative mind, meditation, deep relaxation. Conscious deep relaxation is what I would call meditation. So few minutes of meditation can relieve all types of stress. So morning and evening, few minutes, 15, 20 minutes, good enough. Can keep you going. Usually I recommend M&M, meals and meditation. In the afternoon, when in workplaces and people share a meal together, or sit together and meditate for a few minutes, they find it so refreshing that they are able to carry on the rest of the day with the same energy that they came into the office. Yeah. So we'll do a short meditation maybe at the end of the session. I'll tell you or share some more techniques of what you can do with stress. Yes, please. How to stay in the present? When you want to increase your presence, you can do. First of all, we must know that our mind is wandering. I want to increase the presence of mind. Then half job is done. The second thing is you have to take a little time for yourself, maybe just 15 seconds in between. I just want to share a story with you, an incident. There was an executive came, he said he was so upset with his boss, and so he wrote a letter very nasty letter to his own boss. And he was about to sign that off. And before that he had come to a session and I had given him this idea. Before signing any important paper, you just take 15 seconds gap and just be still and reflect. So he got the idea and he just did it. And then you know what he said? Gurudev, I could not sign that letter what I had written. And it saved me a lot of embarrassment. And it saved my job as well. So, taking that little time, the 15 seconds of gap, that's it. Then move on. You can do this several times during the course of day. As children, we used to play in schools. I don't know whether they played in England or not. Statue. We will all be playing, going around, and someone will say, statue, and then we had to stand like that. We used to say London, London, statue. Then we had to stay like that. Have you played these games? That's one of the brilliant things to bring the mind to the present moment. Yeah? And of course, meditation is very important. Few minutes of meditation keeps our mind as a clean slate to take on new load of work.
You mentioned about exercise. A lot of people spend a chunk of their... Hi, thank you. You mentioned about exercise, and a lot of people spend a lot of their free time exercising. Is there any way you can use the time whilst exercising and focus or techniques whilst you're exercising to bring you...
There are different type of exercise. Some are very hard exercises where you sweat and you run a lot, you get onto the treadmill. It has a different benefit. And there are other, like Pilates and Qigong and also yoga. They all have a different type of impact on the system. Yoga I would recommend because it impacts all the 7 systems in our body. It's the circulatory system, the respiratory system, the muscular system, the electrical system in the body. All these systems are stimulated in yoga. So yoga would be a very good holistic exercise. Simple one. You don't need to stand on your head for too long. You simply have to do it for 10 minutes. 10 minutes of stretches, side stretches, and then breathing. Associated with that is deep breath. We use only 30% of our lung capacity. And about 70 to 80% of impurities from our system goes out just through the breath. So breathing techniques would be very, very impactful. And that can keep the presence of mind also. See, as a child, we have all done yoga. You just observe a child from the age of 3 months to 3 years, it would teach you all the yoga exercises. You don't need a yoga teacher, but you have to observe a child anywhere in the world. Maybe Mongolia to Argentina, you go watch the children, how they do the postures, how they kick their legs and all that they do. So we have all done it, so it's not difficult for us to do a little bit of yoga. Somewhere it is inbuilt in our human system. And similarly, the way a child breathes is much different from the way the adult breathes. And the more stressed we are, our breathing pattern changes. We breathe very differently. But children breathe in a very rhythmic, what we call as yogic breath. Babies. And these days, when babies are stressed, that's a different question. Yeah?
In modern life, we have lots of pressures, lots of demands. Work, family, children, friends, films. Time management becomes quite critical. I mean, in London, I don't know about other people. In London, you're always living on the clock. What advice would you give for us to try and step back a bit?
Time management. We'll not let the time manage us. First of all, we must see that we should go with the feeling we have time, we have enough time. You know, when you put this thought in your mind, I don't have time, then that itself becomes a block. So everybody has only 24 hours, whether it's the Prime Minister or a clerk working in the bank. But we can't do. First of all, we have to put this idea in ourselves. Take this aphorism in our mind. I can do it. Okay? Then the pressure of time is more when you feel not confident of accomplishing your work. Even when it appears to be impossible, then you should give miracle a chance. You should believe, some magic will happen. Not very often, but that very confidence in ourselves that we'll be able to manage will take you through that period. And once something sets in your routine, then you have no problem. See, every one of us take time to brush our teeth. This is dental hygiene, right? However busy you are, you don't say, I have to rush to the office, and don't jump out of your bed and get onto your shoes and run. No, you take the time to brush your teeth. That's dental hygiene. Similarly, I would say few minutes of mental hygiene. When it fits into your routine, you'll not find it as something that you have to do extra. 10 minutes, you sit, relax, you do some exercise. Then you go with a fresh mind.
What would you say is the one thing we could all do today that you think could unlock the potential and transform the leadership of all the leaders in this room? What is the one most critical thing that you think, above all else, that we would do?
Why you are limiting me to one thing? Is it a ration for it? But that one thing you have already done, just keep smiling. That's it. You know, a baby smiles 400 times a day. I think that's a research done here in Oxford. A baby smiles 400 times a day. An adolescent smiles only 17 times. But adults not necessarily smile every day. So I think you should give a big smile to yourself first thing in the morning, maybe very often. In Art of Living, I have 2 Yes. It's not Sri Sri, but it's 2 S's, smile and serve. You know, share what you have with people around you and not expect anything from them. That gives you immense satisfaction. You know, nothing else can gratify you as much as you sharing something with those who are in need. I feel that very strongly. Yeah. How to, yeah, you can repeat the question, please.
Do you have any thoughts on how to deal with a chief executive who is not familiar with humility?
Well, you can be compassionate towards them. People who don't know humility have missed out a lot in their life. And they are in a small shell, you know. So when people don't know and when you know something, you are not angry at them, but you are compassionate at them. You pity them. Sympathize with them. Yes, please.
One of your central messages is the promotion of peace. How do we deal with the people who cause conflict, whether it's chief executives, governments, terrorists, football hooligans, because they're unlikely to listen to your teachings?
yes, there are some who we can deal with dialogue, can talk to them, make them understand. But those who do not have ears or even aptitude for dialogue, they first have to be inside the bars. They have to get into the prison first. Then they will get the listening. Like, for example, I would give you an example of the FARC in Colombia. I was in Colombia and had a formal meeting with the president just for 5 minutes, but it went on for an hour. And he was very concerned, worried about the action that he had to take in the future. It was only military option that was left out. I offered him, why would I not go? Why should I not try, go and talk to the FARC people? He agreed, and I went to Cuba. And first they were like this, someone who is a faith leader or something spiritual. We are nothing to do with it. We are communists. But then we had 3 days of deliberation, sitting and talking. And they also did a meditation with me. All the 3 days, 15, 20 minutes. On the third day, they came out to the press conference and announced unilateral ceasefire. And they said they will follow the principle of Mahatma Gandhi. First, neither the press nor the government believed it. They said, we don't believe this. It just must be another, tactics of them, you see. But then a month later, the government also declared ceasefire, and the peace talks are going on. And the same people, when we just told them, all that you need is social justice, right? You can achieve that the way of non-violence. So they agreed to walk on the path of Gandhian non-violence. And then the peace talk happened, 40,000 lives are saved by this. So these are people when they have ears to listen to. But if you ask me about ISIS, I would say they need to be in the prison first. There is no point. Because they are being indoctrinated. They think no other faith or people with other differences have any right to live on the planet. So that is there's something that cannot be handled through dialogue. Once they are in the prison, then maybe we will be able to change them. That's on a big side. On a smaller level, in the conflicts in our, say suppose in your setup, in your own company, and there is a conflict, what to do, right? Conflict is completely opposite point of views, ideas. Here again, I would say reaching out and patience and our strong intention to mold the dialogue will make a difference. And this is what the TILX program is all about.
I'm conscious that not everyone's going to meditate. So I wondered how, if we individually try and hold presence of mind, how can that be positively contagious to others?
Definitely. We convey more through our presence, our vibes, than through our words. Definitely. So we do impact our surroundings. Just as much as an irritated person, someone who is very upset, can irritate everyone around them, right? The same way, someone who is peaceful, someone who is tranquil, can also have that impact around. It takes a lot of endurance on your part, that's it.
Welcome to London, Guruji. My question is, in your point of view, the way you see it, what is the purpose and the culture of the business world as you see it today? And what should it be? What ought it to be, the purpose and the culture?
I see business as a means to bring happiness in life. If the end product of business is misery, I tell you, nobody would want to do it. But somehow people end up in that space because we are not clear about our goal. The goal of business is happiness through prosperity, through sharing, yeah, through having freedom to, and freedom, of course, is a basic ingredient of happiness. If you're not free, how can you be happy? And wealth creates freedom, supposed to create freedom. And freedom, in turn, brings happiness. And I think this is the goal of business. Maybe you have a different thought about it. So we need to move from GDP to GDH. Right? We're already moving. The world is already moving that direction. So shall we do a short meditation? Are you all ready? Everyone? Okay. Now, meditation is not concentration. It is not doing something. It is simply relaxing. Yeah? And meditation does not interfere with any of your faith or your ideology or whatever you want to think about or whatever you want to have. But during meditation, we have 3 golden rules. Number 1 is, for the next 10 minutes, can you say, I want nothing? Is it possible? You know, even a small thing, oh, I want to change my seat, I want to have a sip of water, can be hindrance for meditation. So 10 minutes that we are going to sit in meditation, the first rule is, I want nothing. Only for 10 minutes. Huh? Later on you can have it. Don't be scared of it. So the next 10 minutes I want nothing. Then the second golden rule for meditation is, I do nothing. It's not focusing your mind, trying to get rid of your stress or taking your, or thinking about something. No, none of that. I do nothing. The third thing is, I am nothing. This may sound to be a little difficult, but it's not. See, if I think I'm very intelligent, no way I can meditate. If I think I'm stupid, then also no way. If I think I'm very holy, no chance of meditation. And if you think you're the worst sinner, forget about it. So I'm neither rich nor poor, nor very holy or not sinner, neither intelligent nor stupid. I'm nobody. Right? Just for 10 minutes. Can we do this? Everybody? Just remove all the labels that we have. We are neither chartered accountants nor students, nothing. We remove those labels and keep it aside. Later on, you can put your badges back on. For 10 minutes, I am nothing, I do nothing, I want nothing. Then you have everything. That's meditation. Yeah? Okay? Before we go to meditation, I would like to share with you a couple of techniques. How many of you get neck pain and shoulder pain? Can you raise your hand? Working a lot on the computer, right? And some burning sensation in the eyes also, right? How many of you can you? You are with numbers, so, right? Your left brain is more active than the right. So I give you some techniques. So let's stretch our hands, both fingers. And tilt your fingers towards your shoulders. Tilt your fingers towards your shoulders. Fingers are tilted, then you will feel some pain in this area. No pain, okay. So stretched, not like this. Stretch your fingers towards your shoulders. And then do this. Tata, bye, bye. And you see something pulling on both forearms. And then take your hands and keep it behind your head, like this. Your thumbs below your, you can just do it, no need to. They are recording it, so they'll give you. So you put your thumbs underneath your earlobes and all the 4 fingers almost pasted to the back of your head. Hold there like this. Now head straight. And now look to your left side and right. Look to the right nose and left nose. And roll your eyes 3 times clockwise. As you are rolling your eyes, you may feel some sensation in your fingers, something happening in the back of your head. Can you feel that? Yeah? Roll your eye 3 times clockwise and 3 times anti-clockwise, and that's it. Shake your hands. Now you see your neck. Better? How many of you feel better already? I tell you, it's a fantastic exercise. It relieves all the tension that gets collected in the back of the neck and the shoulders. It takes less than a couple of minutes to do these exercises. There are a series of them you can follow, sort of desktop yoga. And nobody will know you are doing yoga. You can be working and they can just do like that. Another one, I'm tempted to tell you one more. 2 more maybe. So hold your thumb. You know what's the first sign of stress, you know? We frown. When you frown, we are using 72 muscles on our face. 72 nerves are working. So we frown. That's the first sign of stress. Now, let's put the thumb underneath our eyebrows and the index finger above the eyebrows. Ladies, don't worry about your makeup. And then straighten your eyebrows. And when you straighten your eyebrows, 3 times we can do. With a gentle pressure, you are straightening your eyebrows. And you can shake your hands. The second sign of stress is when smile disappears from your face. And where does it disappear? Let's find out. 3 fingers and dig it in between the jaw. See, there is knots. The more stressed you are, you find lots of knots assimilating in this area, accumulating in this area. So a circular motion near your jaws, and you can find some tension in the back of the head also when you do this. This relieves. The jaw joint, you need to do something. Do you find some knots there? So you are quite naughty. See? Quite naughty. Yeah. Now let's meditate. Let's shake our hands. Meditation is a journey from movement to stillness and from sound to silence. That's good. Now I want you to repeat a syllable, ah, and let's see how long you can say. Take a deep breath in. So we can say the sound only as long as there is breath, right? Suppose we disconnect it with the breath and say mentally, see, how long can you say? Let's sit straight and keep your eyes open. Don't close your eyes yet. Do you notice? You can say it forever, right? That one sound never ends. That's why a letter or syllable is called akshara, means imperishable. It can go on forever. The sound. Sound stretched is music. Movement stretched is dance. Mind stretched is meditation. Life stretched is celebration. So let's stretch the mind now. So let's sit comfortably. And let's sit straight and fix our gaze at 30 degrees right in front of you. If you look at me, it is 90 degrees, but if you look at the floor, it's 30 degrees. Let's fix our gaze at 30 degrees and relax our shoulders, our arms. As you're fixing your gaze on the floor, let's keep our body still and immobile just for 3 minutes. As your body becomes stiller, you can hear your own heartbeat. You can feel your heartbeat. Become aware of your whole body. Your body is a precious gift to you. Keep your eyes open, not close it yet. Just take your attention to your feet. And then slowly bring your attention up to the middle part of your body. And observe the breath therein. Our body is made up of billions of cells. There is enormous energy in each cell of our body. Let's take a deep breath in and breathe out. Relax. Honor your own body. Your body is still, your gaze is fixed. Your mind is slowly becoming stiller, calmer. Now you may gently close your eyes. Feeling your eyelids shutting, closing gently. Let's keep a big smile on our face. Become aware of the dual dimension of body and breath. It's the breath that gives value to our body. Let's honor our own breath. Take a deep breath in with a smile and slowly let the breath go out of your lungs. Once again, breathe in and fill your lungs with the breath. And let go. And relax your shoulders. Incoming breath energizes the body, and outgoing breath brings relaxation. Let's breathe in once again. And with a smile, let go. Become aware of the air all around you, above you. Simultaneously become aware of the air inside of our body. Like fish in the water, we are in air. Now let's move on to the third dimension, the mind. Our body is like the wick of a candle. The mind is like the glow all around it. Another deep breath in and let go. Let's take our attention to the top of the head. And let's become aware of the space above our head, the empty space above our head. Whatever thoughts are coming in the mind, just let them come. Now, let go of all your efforts. Now let's mentally say the word "ah." Let the mind and the sound become one. Let go of all your efforts. This moment, nothing to do and nothing to know either. Just relax. Let the smile in our face percolate through the whole body. Let every cell of our body start relaxing, smiling. Let go of all your efforts. Any discomfort, any stress, just let it be. Just be with it for a few moments. Let's bear any discomfort just for a few minutes. Let them be. As you accept the stress or the discomfort, the mind expands. Let it happen. You are peace. You are peace. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Become aware of your body and surroundings. And another deep breath in with a smile. And breathe out with a smile. And slowly and gradually, you may open your eyes. Was it good? How many of you had good meditation? Can you raise your hands? That's good, no? That's it. How long was it? 20 minutes? Huh? 23 minutes. Did you realize you meditated for about 23 minutes? How many of you didn't feel the time? Come on, encourage me a little bit to continue. Okay, good. That's it, in meditation you don't feel the time at all. I feel very centered, serene, calm. Only disadvantage is you may not lose your temper. That could be disadvantage sometimes. Yeah. Anything else? You had some question, no? I think I answered that. There is a question.
Thank you very much for that interesting experience. Can you explain to me what the difference was between that and having a short nap?
In meditation, there is a gentle awareness that I am. In nap, you are totally off. You don't know where you are. In here, there is a background that here body is relaxed, at the same mind is somewhat alert. Right? And this is more powerful than a nap, power nap. In the sense here, the oxygen consumption rate in the body goes down. Physiologically, deeper rest happens in 20 minutes than what can happen in 6 hours, 8 hours.
Can you explain about women in business and your opinions on that?
There's a lot of vacancy
and
for women. They have to
women
come.
are often, people often say that women make decisions with their hearts, or they are too masculine. Can you give us your knowledge on that, please?
I think today it's a different situation. You cannot put all women as one category. There are women who are very left-brained also, and there are men who are very right-brained also. You find all type of people. But I would say business you should do with your brain and live your life with your heart. You shouldn't do it the other way around. It will be a mess. Problem is when we do business with our heart and live in our head. I think women, at least from India where I come from, women are very strong in politics. See, all the 4 corners of India are ruled by women, single women, and the center is ruled by single men. I don't know what it says, but that's how it is. I don't want to interpret it in any further. Yeah, I think women would be good in any field they take up. There is more commitment, They see through. Yes?
You've been going around the world and visiting all these different countries and different people, sort of inspiring other people. Where's your greatest inspiration come from?
Where is my inspiration?
Your greatest inspiration.
You know, when you are happy, you just want to share it with everybody, right? There's a difference between motivation and inspiration. Motivation is when something comes from external, someone gives you something, tells you something to do. But inspiration is something that comes deep from within ourselves. And you know, the success of the work itself is inspiring you to reach out to more people. I would say when I first went to teach in one of the prisons, when our teachers went and taught in one of the prisons, and the prisoners sent me a note saying, you know, if we had had this knowledge, these techniques before, we would not have been here. And you know, that they held us, our teachers, responsible for them being there. I know that's something that we cannot deny. Because neither at home nor in school anyone teaches us how to manage our temper, how to manage our depression, anger, or all these negative feelings. You know, someone, a boy or a girl feels jealous and then they don't know how to handle their mind, these negative emotions, and they do things for which they regret the whole life. So here I felt that it's our duty to do this, reach out to people. I think my inspiration is the cell phone. I haven't reached like the cell phone every doorstep yet. Because this knowledge of handling one's mind is absolutely essential, I feel, for people to have a harmonious relation in their families, in their social circles, and in society as well.
Thank you. If we could introduce meditation and these practices in business, what impact do you think it would have to business globally and nationally?
Help people to handle stress. You know, businessmen need intuition, right? You know where to invest, exactly how, it depends totally on your guessing or your power of your intuitive ability. Meditation improves your intuitive ability, number one. Second, it enables you to endure tough times. When tough times are coming, that endurance comes up from within you, number two. Third is innovation. No business can survive without innovation. And innovative ability again comes from this. And the fourth thing is the pressure of work. That needs energy. Again, meditation gives you energy.
Endurance, innovation, what was the first one?
Intuition, intuitive ability. Intuition is that which never goes wrong, right? Otherwise, it's not intuition. So when you know which stock market is going to go down, where you should invest and where you should not, and how that comes from somewhere, the gut feeling, right? Why some people take benefit of it, some others don't, is their gut feeling or the intuition is very strong. So even in tough times, they're able to sail through them. That is endurance. But the inner strength, inner power is there. Of course, innovation. If you are not innovative, then businesses cannot run, isn't it? What do you think? Don't you think so? Yeah? Okay. One last question I'll take. Anyone has last?
So where do you strike the balance between ambition and greed?
Greed is when you disrespect the laws. Somehow you want to make money. When you drop the ethics and you go for profit, that is greed, isn't it? Ambition is within the purview of ethics. You can be ambitious. But greed takes you away from ethics, isn't it? I think so. I have no experience of it. I can't tell you more. Simple thing what I would say is clarity in mind, purity in heart, sincerity in action. That has been my guiding principle. Anything. So it doesn't stress you out, it doesn't put a load on you, and success is for sure. Thank you very much.
Sri, thank you very much for what I'm sure many people today have found a very inspirational talk. I hope, ladies and gentlemen, you can all go back to your work or wherever else you're going to now, re-energised. I hope you're going to improve the UK's productivity as a result of that session. And Sri, I know that you've got a very busy afternoon, but I believe that you've got time now to do an interview for our magazine Economia, so you'll be able to read some further thoughts in due course. But thank you very much again for your time. Ladies and gentlemen,